Good afternoon. It is a lovely 65 degrees out in Chicago. And today I was asked an interesting question by someone. They seem interested in learning how to drive stick shift. They would like to know how to master driving stick shift. They would like to know some techniques on how to do it, some tips, some tricks, be able to use it for daily life, something more. Any car that has a dongle stick like this. Well, with driving stick shift, we can start with something just as simple as starting the vehicle. You'll want to have your clutch, your foot down on the clutch pedal. It doesn't need to be in neutral. Some cars have to be. This one, it doesn't matter. And turn the key. Step one is complete. Now, step two is the most important part that gets everyone picked up on or stuck on. It is trying to get the car rolling. Generally, handbrake down. You will want to put the clutch into first and slowly release the clutch. Doing the clutch is the most important thing. You do not need gas. You can simply just use the clutch to get yourself going. So, no clutch, just gas. I'm going to stop us for a moment so we can show it again. You just need the clutch for starting out. No need for gas. Just slowly release until you feel bite point like now. And do it again. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Now it's starting to bite. Shiver a little bit. Let it ride for a little bit. And let it slowly start rolling forward. And as you're off the clutch, you can see we are indeed rolling. Back on the clutch, brake, do this again. You're going to want to repeat this until you are confident in not being able to stall the vehicle. A stall would look something like this, where the car jerks forward and the engine quits. Now I'll show it partially from the outside. As we slowly let off the clutch, look at the lines in the distance. They begin to move as the car begins to slowly roll forward, as you can see. Now then, as you're working on doing the clutch work, once you feel confident, you can eventually choose to start using the gas for it, so you can have a quicker acceleration. I will stop us again. This time we're going to use the gas and the clutch. You will want to release the clutch to the point where it starts biting and then slowly apply gas. You do not need much, and some vehicles you don't even need to use any gas at all to do regular starts. And this will be a demonstration of that. You will slowly let out on the clutch until it starts biting and then start applying a little bit of gas as you can start rolling along. We'll repeat that again. You will slowly let out on the clutch, apply some gas. It is fine if you go under and start lugging the engine. It's fine if you go a little bit over. Just don't start going anywhere above 2,000 RPM with starting the vehicle, or else you will burn the clutch. I have learned this the hard way too many times, training way too many people, that they go way too high of an RPM when slipping the clutch, and a unbearable burning smell enters the vehicle. We repeat again. Slowly apply the clutch and the gas. Once you learn to master that, you can hopefully be able to decrease the amount of RPM you need to be able to start rolling. Some people might prefer to have a little bit of gas and then start letting out on the clutch. That works well for learning. If you just want to get the vehicle moving, however, it is not recommended to have for daily use. And eventually you can slowly work your way towards something that I do, which is starting to roll like so, near idle. Another part of driving stick shift is knowing which gear you need to be in, or what the gears are. You have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. This is a 6-speed, and with this specific reverse, you go over twice to the right and then down. Some other vehicles, you might push the shifter down and into first, and some may have, if it's a 5-speed, you may just go into what would have been 6th gear, but is now reverse. The third step in your journey is now going to involve this little dongle stick, where when you want to try finally getting out of first gear, clutch in, throw it into first, slowly release the clutch so you can get up to a rolling speed, apply a little bit of gas. You'll begin to get up to a speed that you're hopefully comfortable with, like maybe 2,000 RPM, before you clutch in, shift, let out the clutch slowly, and resume your movement. You will slowly start easy on that clutch, get yourself up to a certain speed you want, 2,000 RPM, clutch in, shift into second, slowly let out the clutch, and you should be at the speed that you want to. Now you're in second gear. You want to rinse and repeat this, going back and forth between stopping, clutch in, go into first gear, slowly letting out on the clutch, getting up to a certain speed, clutch in, shift into second, let out the clutch, and now again, you are in second gear. You can do this also if you want to get into third gear. Give a little bit more gas, shift into third, let out on the clutch, now you're in third gear. Of course, once you have finally mastered being able to do stops and starts without stalling or without many stalls, and be able to sufficiently be able to go from first into second, you might be ready for the road, which we will do next. Now, when it comes to driving stick shift on the road, people might be incredibly nervous. Like that. You have no need to be worried about what people are doing around you. If they honk when you stall at a light, you are perfectly fine. Nothing is going to go wrong. They're just angry, you can let them be angry. If you miss a shift and go a little bit slow, you'll be fine. As long as you don't crash the car, all is good in the world. You can do however many flukes you want in a manual transmission, you'll be fine at the end of the day. Now then, for the on-road driving, you don't have to do one specific driving style. There are several types you can kind of do. Generally, you have the daily commuting type of driving style where you're kind of being reserved with how you choose to shift your car and how you wish to use the gas and the clutch. You can slow down your shifts. You can kind of be easier on the gas and be slower when engaging the clutch. You can also do another kind of driving style where some people might just want to feel free, do a little bit more spirited driving, have some fun in their life, where they can be shifting as fast as they want, just bang it into each gear, let the clutch out as fast as they want, and mash the accelerator pedal until it reaches the floor. You can also do some in between kind of spirited driving where you might just want to have a little bit of fun. You don't need to go into your focused race mode. You don't need that full mindset. You just want to have a little bit of fun for your little commutes between work and home. There are also some other kind of things you can try learning when trying to do the manual transmission. When you're coming to a stop, you pretty much put the clutch in, put it in neutral, and go on the brakes. That can be for beginners. You can also just ride the brake until you get the vehicle starts to stall, then you can put in the clutch and back into neutral. you want to keep it in neutral while you're at a stop and not have the clutch pedal down, so that way it doesn't start putting wear on the clutch release bearing. And it at least gives your foot a bit of a rest from the torments that you'll be doing for everyday life. Or at least your foot doesn't get all too sore. As you can see, I'm kind of doing a little bit more lazy shifts. This particular car, the Acura TL, enjoys lazy shifts. Its engine RPM is a little bit hesitant, so it takes its sweet time dropping its RPM. So you may want to slow down your clutch usage, and you don't need to shift as fast. An example of a car that is the complete opposite of that might be a B8 Audi S4, where once you put the clutch in, RPM just rapidly drops down, and you need to shift fast. You can't do any more lazy shifting. You have to stay on top of the car, or else it's going to get you. It's kind of like a bit of a dance, you'd say, for driving a manual transmission. And sometimes, if you miss your step, you'll get a high heel through the top of your foot from the person you're dancing with, kind of like this car. You miss a step, you'll stall the car, or you'll burn the clutch out, or just make it uncomfortable for you driving yourself. Once you've kind of become comfortable with driving on the road, you're kind of just set to go. Highway driving is the absolute easiest you can do for stick shift driving, and city driving is the absolute worst. Now, while you start driving your manual transmission, over time you'll get used to certain things. You'll begin to kind of look at the RPM and speed to figure out in your head what kind of RPM you need to be at when you upshift or downshift. Upshifting is going to be a little bit easier, as you can kind of just slowly let out on the clutch as you get into the gear, especially at low RPM. It's not going to be very punishing. Once you get to higher RPM and you don't do it at the right time and it drops down into idle, and you have to pull it up maybe 4,000 RPM, then it's going to be a bit of a lurch from the vehicle. And then again, even over time, you'll start learning other techniques, like heel toe shifting, which doesn't work on this car. Some people, it might work for toe shifting, like this. When you get much better, you can eventually start to be able to master that ability to figure out, looking at your speed, know how to downshift properly into whatever gear you want. Some people, when they're going for a turn, they may do something where they put the clutch in, complete the turn, put it into a higher gear, and slowly let it out, which is fine. There are also some other advanced techniques that you can try doing for your driving, like when you really get comfortable with driving manual trans. There's a double clutch downshift, where while you're in gear, you would, actually I'll show it as an example. Anyways, double clutch downshift. Clutch, neutral, blip, into gear, let go of the clutch, and you've done a double clutch downshift. This can be a little bit nicer for a certain few gears. Example, for first, if it just refuses to go in, no matter how much you shove it in, you might need to synchronize both the engine and the transmission. Now, as I said before, for regular driving, there's not that much special you need to do other than being able to properly let off the clutch as you're starting off, be able to smoothly go through the gears, then clutch in, slow shift, clutch out, and resume back on the throttle. If you want to downshift, clutch in, kick the throttle, shift up, let out the clutch. Now then, we can try going through the gears together. First, the second, right turn here. Let's try that again. Go from first, second, third, fourth, double clutch downshifts are difficult to do, but when mastered, well, when you master doing any kind of downshift with a blip, where you like doing normal things where you early on you will be inclined, if you try doing a blipping downshift, to be on the clutch. Actually no, alright, I'll show a demonstration. Generally when people are downshifting for a turn, they will clutch in, blip the throttle, shift up, let go, and then brake, which is perfectly fine. That is what you should do initially when you learn how to do this stuff. However, later on, you'll be able to do braking and blipping the throttle, which is a lot harder, but when you nail it perfectly, it is an amazing feeling. It is its own form of dopamine, really. One example of doing a downshifting while blipping, you're in 4th gear. At 40, you will blip to clutch in, blip to 4,000, let go, and you can brake. I probably should have done both at the same time. Crap, I did a little bit too early. You know what? I'll do it here. Go in, brake, kick the throttle, downshift, turn in, and off you go. Yeah, you have to do some kind of math running in your head. For me, shifting down from 40 miles an hour, 2nd gear, it is around 4,000 RPM to be able to do that downshift. It is indeed an art form trying to master doing a blip and downshift while braking. I'll do another example of doing a blip, downshift, and braking all at the same time here. So it'll be a 3rd to 2nd downshift, right turn, speed, brake, clutch, blip, and you're good. God, is it a feel of dopamine when you do it for the first time. And when you keep doing it, it really is nice. It's also nice for the people in the car. It's a little bit more lively. They might get a laugh out of it, and it also makes them more comfortable should you not jerk the car and properly get the RPM right. Properly match the RPM right. The way you hold the shifter doesn't really matter all too much. You can kind of just hold it however you like. This, or just do a ninja kind of weird style, like where you keep adapting.
When I'm shifting, is I always have my hand in the right position for the type of shift I'm doing. So if I'm going from like that, and then otherwise they're always like that. That ensures I don't accidentally go into the wrong gear. I won't be pulling it from 3rd into 2nd on accident.
Which is perfectly fine, however you are comfortable with. And another example of a 3rd to 2nd downshift, you can also do it like this, and then you brake. It's much easier for the people that are new to be able to learn how to do that, as opposed to doing it while braking. That is quite tough, but they'll learn. But anyways, this way you can actually kind of see the speedometer, you can kind of see the gear shifter, so you can kind of be a little bit more immersive for your daily stick shift needs. So you can see me be able to go through the gears. You can also be able to see the RPM and the speed needed for each of the stuff, in addition to the pedal cam. As you do clutch in, shift into 1st, slowly let it out, and you can continue moving into 2nd. Another thing is that when you are, when you're doing clutch, you don't want to jerk it out. You can kick it in all you want, as fast as you want. Just slowly release it. Do not ever jerk it out. It will wear on the clutch, put a lot more wear on the clutch. It'll also be uncomfortable for you, and it'll make the clutch especially hot, so you'll have a burning smell for a good few seconds. So an example of doing double clutch downshifting while braking is going to be a bit tough, but bear with the video. It's a dance you have to perform, absolutely, but it's not really that bad. Once you get to do it daily, it's actually quite enjoyable. It's kind of a little bit of a game you can play with yourself. See if you're able to perfectly match the downshift. See if the speed, the RPM, your clutch release, your shift timing, all perfect. So one last thing that we need to go over is hill starts. Now, for people that are not patient, this can be a very challenging part of doing manual driving, where they may just try to, like, they get stopped up at a hill, they try to go, and either they keep rolling back or they stall, try restarting their car again, try going up, stall, and it just causes trouble. There are two different ways to try and doing a hill start. I should be able to show both of them. So one of the more risky ways that can be a little bit of fun, a little bit of a game for you, kind of like a quick time event, is where you would be riding on the brake, put the clutch into first, and you would let go of the brakes and jump on the gas. You'd roll back a bit as you're going up the hill, and sometimes this could be a little bit scary, especially if it's on a steep incline. This will not work. You will just roll back unless you can really get it quickly. And showing the fact that if you do it slow, you will roll back. Turn off to the side. Slow. You keep rolling back, rolling back, rolling back. Now, while you try going up a hill, you want to give it a little bit more gas and be a lot more gentle on the clutch. If you jerk it or do anything like you would on flat ground, you will likely get the car to stall, and if not stall, it will be an unhappy experience for the occupants, and probably a little bit scary considering you'll be rolling back and the car will be shuddering. Another method to try doing hill starts is where you would, once again, have it, on the brakes, clutch in, put it into first. As you would then first start slowly letting off the clutch and get to the bite point. Then you can release the gas and then get onto the throttle. I'll try showing it here. It's now to the bite point. It should be able to hold the car, get off the brake, it'll hold the car, and you can get onto the throttle. And off you go. I will show that method again. Clutch in, hold it in first, slowly let off of the clutch till the RPM starts to drop. You can show it again. Notice the RPM slowly starts to drop as you reach that bite point. You hold it there, let go of the brake, car's held in place. Now on the gas, and off you go up the hill. Now, all of these things will take a lot of time and practice to do. Just simple starting and stopping is hard to do just to begin with when you first learn. And be able to do the rest of the stuff on top, like rest of the driving things you do in everyday life on top of the stick shift driving, for some people could be a bit overbearing. But for others, it could be an interesting challenge. It could also keep you a little bit more engaged. You're not likely to be distracted if you have to keep shifting when you're in the middle of Chicago. Just constantly stop, start, letting off the clutch, constantly shifting between first and second gear, going up between each individual light. It keeps you engaged, keeps you entertained. And if you're enjoying that entertainment, congratulations, you've fallen in love with manual driving. I've taught a few people that they were wanting to drive an automatic and had no interest in driving manual. After I began teaching them, of course, they ended up taking interest. Even people that didn't like cars at all, they started taking interest in this thing. They enjoyed the engagement. They enjoy that it doesn't feel, nothing here feels spongy at all. There is nothing where there's no kick down thing for the accelerator pedal in an automatic, and there's no wondering whether or not it's going to like stay in the gear too long or actually downshift for you. You have no idea what the computer's doing. With this, it is absolute control. There is no thing that is going to make you upshift or downshift or refuse to do anything of the above. You can do all of this within your own control. And that is the absolute beauty of having a manual transmission. You have absolute control over everything in the vehicle. And in this day and age, having some more control is what people have been wanting. All of this stuff together has made it a bit of an art form for driving stick shift, a dance, a mastery. It is exceptionally hard to do. Despite me having driven for roughly 3 years now of manual driving exclusively, every day to and from school, I am still improving. It may be minute, you know, some other things. Doing autocross as an example, you've learned to do a lot better car control for starting, doing a quick shift, and actually be able to control the car fairly well within residential speeds as an advanced driving program, effectively. You begin to become a lot more invested in your vehicle. You'll learn how to properly utilize all aspects of it, and having a manual transmission is one of those aspects. You learn to be able to control properly. Now combine all of the stuff that were discussed in the video. We're going to properly use the gas, the brake, and the clutch, in addition to the speedometer and tachometer, in order to get a beautiful thing that you have in racing, such as this. Now, the second step in your journey. Ah, damn it. All right, so now the third step in your journey. Double clutch downshifts are difficult to do, but when mastered, well, when you master doing any kind of downshift with a blip, where you like doing normal things where you early on you will be inclined, if you try doing a blipping downshift, to be on the clutch. Actually no, alright, I'll show a demonstration. Eventually, when you master it, you can start to brake that. I don't know what the yelling's about. I'll redo that. No, someone's lost a balloon. Alright, round two of trying to record this stuff. Camera's been moved, look, better spot, so I don't keep kicking the damn foot camera, and hopefully the ceiling one doesn't keep falling down. You will slowly, it's kind of like, oh god, it's dead on battery. You can also kind of do some, you can also, right. The light keeps turning off. Oh well. Stop and start stuff, please. Toto shifting, like this, should actually be showing on the camera, which is gone. Where the hell are you? There it is, and the light's off again, damn it. And this thing needs new batteries anyways. Hopefully the bottom one's still recording just fine. You can kind of see it there. As an example of trying to do Toto shifting, clutch in, and that fucking snapped off, damn it. Reattach this bullshit. Alright, I'm gonna need to go back for more batteries. And that fell too, fuck. Yeah, it's a pretty nice day outside. Perfect time to do this. It's not overheating with the lack of air. I'm not overheating with the lack of air conditioning. It's quite nice out. Great. Now the power steering fluid burning smell is getting stronger. No, it's not. It actually might just be someone having a bonfire. One of the two. I have no clue. Hopefully I myself am at least not bored to death or way too tired while reviewing back this footage. Hopefully not.